Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Fannie Bay. Here live for the Darwin Sailing Club Arafura Games medal races. Deciding the semi-final, we've got Bryson from the ADF versus James Hodgson representing Queensland. That'll be the second start. The first start, which will be coming up in a few minutes, will be Megan Thompson from New Zealand versus Tara from India. We will get some footage of the boats on live and underway fairly soon. We've got a few people coming in today, hopefully do a bit of commentary.
Might give it a go later.
Given the state of life.
Oh, right.
Because we finished nice and early yesterday, I decided it was time to get my mast back up and rig my boat instead of doing all the preparations and things. So I didn't drink enough water while doing it.
Tom, go to somewhere else. You just got the mast in shot.
So we're on board with the ADF guys on Elliott 1. This boat sponsored by Port Darwin, I believe, one of our sponsors. The ADF normally sail on Lake Burley Griffin, so they're probably enjoying the weather up here. They might find it a little bit hot. Lake Burley Griffin probably has to break the ice before they go sailing some parts of the year. So also in the top four, we've probably got the favourite here. This is James Hodgson. Sails out of CYCA in Sydney normally, but he's representing his home state of Queensland in this competition with a Queensland team. And currently in Elliott 3, we have Megan Thompson and her team of girls from New Zealand. They've been doing really well in this regatta so far. They've got their nice red buoyancy aids. And just to add identity confusion, in Elliott 4 at the moment we have the Indian team led by Tara Mariwadi. Excuse me if I mispronounced that. That's how my colleague Matt here's boat is named. So I'm pronouncing it like his boat, but I've no idea whether either his boat pronunciation is right or even the spelling, if I'm honest. So those are the four teams left in it today. We've got a breeze from the southeast coming at us straight from the city. So those are the scores as they were yesterday. Finn and the NT youth team came fifth. They've been eliminated. In sixth place was the other NT team led by Graham Sargent. In seventh place was Joe from Singapore, and in eighth place Tom Vincent representing New South Wales. So that windy view is pretty accurate. We've got how many knots, Fred? So we've got 7 knots of breeze from the southeast. We had a little bit of light rain a minute ago, but the sky appears to be slowly clearing. It's supposed to clear today. You've got the weather radar on the top right of your screen. Forecast is southeasterly 10 to 15, turning northeasterly in the afternoon. So those of you who've been watching will notice that we tend to get a sea breeze in at lunchtime. So this morning we're expecting it to stay from the southeast. That's normal behaviour for Darwin. It's stiffening up a bit at the moment, which will be good. Get some good shots on board. The race officers are examining the line. We're due to get underway fairly soon. I thought the first race was at 10, and they are obviously going to start smack on time today. So yeah, the first match will be starting as soon as the race officers can, will be Tara in the blue boat, entering from the far end of the line, boat number 4, and Megan Thompson for New Zealand in the yellow boat at number 3, entering from this end of the line. So just while we've got a bit more time, at the top of the screen here is my on-screen display, which I will use. We'll watch the start of the India New Zealand race, and then we'll hang around for the start of the following match, which will be, as it says on the top of the screen, boat number 2, Queensland, versus the ADF in yellow, boat number 1. So that on-screen display, those numbers are not the scores. I've had a bit of confusion. They are the sail numbers. So if you look at the outside shots of the boats, the one going through the middle of the screen there has a 1 on the sail. That is Elliott 1, which is currently the ADF. That's the onboard shot top left. So yeah, the sail numbers are for the identity purposes. There's boat number 4 coming through the middle of shot. Boat number 4 is currently India. You can see India sailing on the back of their buoyancy aids in that top right shot. That's a bit of rigging. We're about to lose them behind the mast. The race officers are getting ready. Fred's holding his flags. We'll have this underway very, very shortly. Thank you. So that black and white mark on the left of your screen, that is the start-finish line. Sailboat races always start, that's always, except when they don't, obviously, always start going towards the wind. So the boats will be heading off to your right as you look at this view, up towards Darwin City. We are in the middle of the bay here. I don't have a terribly good view of that. I will try harder next time. If I bring up the tracker, we don't actually have the map on it here, but we've increased the speed on this and hopefully it'll be a bit more up to date. So boat 3 should be coming round the start finish line right now. We're not picking up, yeah, so it's still a little bit laggy. It's probably not good for on screen. The start finish line is pointing 90 degrees to the southeasterly breeze we've got. That little boy on the map marked orange and black, that's the rounding mark for the first lap. So all the boats head upwind just out of shot, bottom right of your screen, where they round a buoy. They then back downwind, go around the orange and black L mark, you can see on the screen there, which is sitting just in front of our boat here. And then they go up to the top mark one more time, and then they come back and cross the start-finish line the other way to end the race. Whichever boat is in front wins. It's perfectly simple, unless they have a penalty. So they're going to have to, because my voice ain't going to last. So I'll just finish this one off. So we'll go back to my previous views and explain while we're waiting my on-screen display. So there are little coloured flags that the umpires hoist. You may see them on the boats.
10 minutes.
That's race officers calling them 10 minutes there. So if the boats hit each other, God forbid, or nearly collide, then the umpires will decide one or one are being at fault. And little coloured flags.
10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2.
Sorry about that. So the little yellow flags I put up on there indicate a penalty. So that would be a penalty for the Queensland and a penalty for the ADF. And when they're completed, I bring those little coloured flags down, same as the umpires do on their boats. The equivalent of a how's at call, like you have in the cricket, when they want to appeal, they can put up a yellow and red stripy flag and appeal to the umpires for a decision, which is what the Y flag is. That's the red and yellow stripes on the screen right now. In the case of too many penalties against one boat, they can get black flagged, and that's just the end of the race, disqualified. So if a black bar appears up there, that means that the race has ended and that boat has been disqualified. So that's my homemade on-screen display. There are a series of flags that go up on the boat. For simplicity, I leave a couple out, but at 5 minutes, a warning signal goes up, which is a white flag with a red blob on it. If you ever see any of the outside shots with us flying that, that means that it's between 5 minutes and the start of the race. At 4 minutes, the blue Peter goes up. So at 4 minutes, a little blue flag white goes up, and that flag goes down again at the 1 minute. And then at the start, the other flag goes down. That's how the crews know when they're starting. There's also a horn, but the flags are what matters. If the horn fails, the flags are generally considered reliable and unfailing. So we're about 10 minutes away from the real start, so I'll turn that display off again.
I'm Angus Musgrove from New South Wales team. I've hardly done much match racing really. This is my first regatta. I usually sail moths and stuff. Yeah. So it's a little bit more different, I feel. A bit of a step.
10, 9, two, 1.
Okay, they're just about started. Here you go, Paddy.
Hang on.
Okay,
5, 4,
about to
3,
hoist the
2,
5-minute flag.
1.
5-minute flag's up. What an exciting day on the race course. You excited, Paddy?
Hey guys, this is Adventures of a Sailor Boy. We're within between 5 and 4 minutes of the first race. we've got in the camera view the Indian team, and starting from the starboard side, we've got team boat number 3, which is from Queensland. They're lining up, trying to time their entry into the line at 4 minutes.
10, 8, 7,
So they're both approaching entry,
5, 4,
trying to time it perfectly,
2, 1.
and they've both entered. No one's over, so now they're ready to battle it out head to head. Both boats are trying to do their best tactics. We've got Queensland on the attack. Sorry, not Queensland, New Zealand on the attack. They've done a little dial up here. And now for the mind games. Both teams are full girl teams, which is pretty cool.
This is interesting. The Indian team is pointing the New Zealand team up. Very tactical. Yeah. Looks pretty cool how the New Zealand team is stopping the Indian team from going through the line.
Class A, I'm not doing Class C.
Oh, they're gonna try and get past New Zealand. Oh no, they're in a pickle there.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Oh, look at this. New Zealand is
1 minute.
just keeps on holding the Indian team up out of the line. Looks pretty cool. It's pretty cool racing in Darwin.
Thanks, Duncan, the commentary there. So these two boats, you've obviously got boat 3 trying to keep the Indian team in boat 4 away from the line. The further that they can take them away, as long as the New Zealand team is the closer one to the line, they've got the advantage. And you can see that every time the Indian team tries to make a move, New Zealand's blocking them and staying between them and the line.
4, 3, 2, 1.
That's the 1 minute guns. They've got a minute left until the start. For some reason, they're all coming back in towards the start line. We've also got, you can see the umpire boats cruising around. We've got a few of the sailors who got kicked out of the competition, and they're hopped on the umpires' boats. which will be good. Learn some rules and how it's all
We are following on.
refereed.
Thank you.
Oh, my apologies, that wasn't 1 minute before, that was the start gun. So they're racing now. No, I was wrong again. This is the start, approaching the start now.
2, 1.
And that's the start. Alright, we're heading over to the other race. Hopefully we can get this one correct. So both boats have entered. Yep. So we've got the ADF team on attack. Hopefully they've all got their shackles today. And it looks like boat number 2 has managed to get enough speed to pass in front, not get caught on port and starboard. He's got some good boat speed. So because boat 2 was a little quicker, they didn't get a chance to do a dial up. Both teams looking pretty serious. So we've got just under 3 minutes to the start. The ADF guys are in the attacking position at the moment. They're going to try to block the other boat from getting into the start line. Oh, we've got a man overboard. And it is pretty hot in Darwin. Obviously just trying to cool off before the race. It's a good tactic to drop boat speed. The skipper actually pushed her out as a tactical move. So these guys are going to do some circle work. They're going to start flipping around. Yep. Kind of looks like they don't really know what they're doing. That's a lot like how I sail. So we got 2 minutes left on the gun and these guys are still flipping around. So James looks as if he's in the back in the controlling position now. He's now between ADF and the start line, which is the better position to be in. And they're still sailing away from the line, which makes a lot of sense to everyone who doesn't know what this weird sport and how it works. That's 1 minute. 1 minute to the start line, to the start of the race, and they're still sailing off into the distance.
Looks like both boats may get an OCS, which could make racing a little bit more interesting. I'm not entirely sure what OCS means, but it's bad. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It looks like the Queensland team, James, is about to go up the start line. That was a ripper move, chucking the crew over. Wish I did that. It's a paddy. It was a great move by their half. Never thought of chucking the crew over to stop speed. Yeah, it was great sports. Okay, so Queensland is about to cross the line. And they've started, I think. Have they started? James is off to a ripper start. ADF is catching up. Might try and go up and take the other team's wind, ADF. Oh no, ADF's tacked. Nice. This is interesting. Hey Paddy, you want to say anything?
Alright, so we had a clean start, no penalties. So it's just a drag race now. So the ADF guys trying to chase James down. He got the line with a pretty good start and definitely ahead. So I'm assuming that every time the ADF guys are going to attack, then James is going to attack as well. It's either because they're trying to cover the other boat, or it just looks better on that tack and they want to stay together. You can see all four boats on the race course now, so you got the two boats with kites going the opposite way in the different race that we saw at the first start. The ADF guys and James have split, and they'll be heading to the orange mark. Not as much current today as yesterday. I think there's about 1.5 knots of current coming from the pin end towards the boat. It's very hard when there's only a couple knots of breeze to sail when there's a lot of current. So we got the New Zealand team coming into the bottom mark here. I'm not sure what screen you're looking at. I think you're looking at it, Elliot 2 with James.
Not sure if he's laying it. I was hoping to get a buoyant shot. Don't think he is.
9 minutes.
He's approaching the top mark. The ADF guys are coming from his port side. He's having a look at them now. You can. He's going to be keeping a close eye on them as they approach. And here's the view from the ADF guy's boat, and you can see James in the background. He's going to pass in front of them and presumably tack with or on top of them to block their wind, or just get to the mark first.
Going out to the ley line, I reckon.
The wind's been pretty shifty over the last couple of days. Looks a little bit more consistent today, which is good. Alright, now you can see the top mark view, the orange buoy in the middle there. The boat's going to be coming up to sail around it. Super, super exciting. Alright, so James is on lake to go around the buoy, the buoy. get to check out their kite sets. All right, cruised around. Spinnaker's up, and they're heading down. You can see the ADF guys there, still coming up to the top mark in second place.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, the ADF. The Queensland team is doing a goose wing where you put the main on the other side of the spinnaker and you can go as deep as possible down to the mark. Very exciting. So the ADF is going out to the far end of the course, possibly to get some more pressure than the pink spinnaker, which is the Queensland team. It seems to be going for depth, not height. Here we go, the ADF team in the blue spin just jibed. Oh, here we go, here comes James with the blue kite. That's a poppet, as we know. As you can see, the ADF team is trying to hunt down the Queensland team. Oh, here we go. Oh, they're going goose winger again. Wow, that's pretty cool. Maybe we should have done that. Oh well. It's actually a pretty cool maneuver. Don't know why we didn't do it. Guess we're not experienced enough. Oh, here we go. He's cool. Oh, steaming in. Here we go. Pop and kite. The Queensland team. Oh, look, Paddy. They're not dropping the spinnaker in the water. It's pretty cool. Oh. Yeah, Paddy always, when we were dropping our spinnakers, would hit the water. Don't know why, he just likes it in the water. Okay, the ADF team is hoisting their jib, about to pop their spinnaker. It's a bit earlier drop. Not entirely sure if I agree with that drop. Maybe should have dropped a little bit earlier or sooner, close to the mark. Okay, it looks like James is more on a lift and ADF team is on a knock. So we got the ADF team, as you can see. Everyone's trying to get as far forward as possible to try and get speed and height to possibly lay the mark. Okay, it looks like the New Zealand team has won the first. Well done to the New Zealand. Nice work. And the Indian team is just about to cross the line as well.
Do we go up a number? Yes.
It looks like Dip Girls are having a good old time on the main, you know. Missing the dip. Oh, it looks like... Oh, it's in the water! The spinnaker is in the water. Wow. See, they gave us a bit of a pickle with Paddy. He always seems to get in the water, as I mentioned before. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, it looks like the Queensland team has got a full-on head start in front of the ADF. The ADF is just about to round the top mark. And Hodgson spinnaker. Come on, guys, put your back into it.
That's the one that was squeaking, I reckon. Either a mouse up there
Oh yeah, okay. So we're gonna blame it on the sheave at the top of the mast. It's a bit of squeak in it, so a little bit harder to hoist the spinnaker. Oh, the goose wing in it. I reckon the ADF team should just lose all their shackles and they might go a little bit faster. I think that would be much better. What do you reckon, Paddy? Reckon they should drop all their shackles overboard, like the Queensland team when they skip at the start of the race, chucked the crew over. Paddy's nodding his head, meaning good sign. Oh, here we go. ADF's just done a jibe. Ooh, good set. Good jibe.
Yeah, Dom.
Oh, look. Here we go. James is about to cross the finish line in first place. ADF is just chilling, realised, oh no, finally, there's nothing they can do to lose it. They've lost. They've lost this race, unfortunately. I really think they should. Oh, here we go. Queensland's won. Come on, guys. Oh, goody.
It's not a joke book, it's a story, so you'll have to read the whole book to know where the good bits are.
Oh, okay. We've got a sailing book that has the jokes, you know. Okay.
We'll try and get the...
I'm Angus, the moth sailor, and also aka the nickname Duncan. I think Duncan's my name, honestly. Yeah.
So we're about to have the draw. We're about to have the draw here, I think.
Okay. We're about to have the draw between the skippers, the Indian and the New Zealand team, and Queensland. There's James. He's waving intensely. Work out who's going to verse each other.
Good luck, everyone. Have fun.
Rightio. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what just happened there. What happened?
Boat or in?
Okay, ADF's going starboard, and the Indian team's going to go port. Ooh, exciting. Good luck, guys. So now the skippers are going to go back to their boats and tell the rest of the team what they're doing. This is such a weird sport. Okay. Okay, the Queensland skipper's just hopped on board. Now I'm gonna brief the team on what he's done and stuff. And the Indian skipper's about to jump on and also tell the girls and Dip Girl that the sad sides of entering on port instead of starboard. Oh, okay. The New Zealand skippers on the ADF. Oh, they're switching boats, right? Okay. Are they? I don't know. What's happening? Oh, okay. Okay, this is interesting. Never seen this before. Bryson, skipper of the ADF team, is on the New Zealand boat. Oh, it looks like Bryson's just gonna sail over. You know, solo sail. Okay, they're going to change boats. So the ADF team's going to be in boat 3, and the New Zealand girls are in boat 1. Oh look, see, Bryson doesn't even need crew. He's like so professional. He's so good at it. It's like, can you actually sail by yourself? Look at him. He's sailing it like a pro. It's almost like he's better than everyone else.
How do you want it?
Ah, here we go. The ADF team's gonna hop in. Oh. Bryson just got a champagne shower on him. Now he's more refreshed. He's I think Bryson should probably pull his pants up. Yep, oh, there we go. We got a connection with Bryson here. Just heard us. Okay, we'll just hop over the Queensland boat. They're working out tactics, probably working out who to chuck overboard next. Oh, dance. There we go. Ooh la la. Okay. I think, oh, look, what? What are we going to do, Mozart or something? This is very interesting. Seeing what the other teams are doing. I don't know. I don't know who's gonna jump off or intentionally push off. I think it'd be more funny if James fell over. That'd make things more interesting.
Well, in the absence of him, the content would have to go with that.
Okay, so we're just sitting off the line. Okay, we're just going to go to the New Zealand boat, see what the girls are doing. Oh, okay. We are talking tactics. Sorting the spinnaker out. Making sure all is good. I don't know. Maybe they should Oh, here we go. Oh, they're going to hoist spinnaker. Sort it out. I don't know, it looks like it's kind of stuck. Oh, no.
Coming up for 32.
You're just hoisting and setting the spinnaker, make sure it's all good.
Alright, so we're still on board the Queensland team boat. This is their pre-start, just hanging out. They're actually the on the second start, so they have to chill out for a little while the others start. Do the other teams start their race, and then they'll be in next.
7 minutes.
So that's the 7-minute gun for the start of the first sequence. So we're on board. I know we're still on board with the Queensland team. Sorry, that was a New Zealand team.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. F down.
So we've got 1 minute until the 5-minute gun of the first race.
So the first race will be the other two.
What numbers are the first race?
Questions in
So in this start, we've got the ADF guys coming in on starboard, and the Team India coming in on port. The ADF guys have got an advantage here. They're just lining up for the start of the race.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, that's the start of their sequence. We got 5 minutes till the start and 1 minute until they sail at each other.
Yeah, we're going to follow match 2, which will be boats 1 and 2 over.
The team we're watching here that's about to start is number 4. So the boat number 1 they're on the next start, so we don't have to worry about those guys. Alright, they're bearing away, they're coming in for the 4 minutes.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, both teams have got nice entry, good timing.
Yellow boats in, no 2 minutes.
Alright, so they're sailing at each other again. The Indian team's trying to get out of the way. This crazy ADF guys are just, who knows what they're doing. On board with the, oh, no, we're back. The view of the start from the start boat. They're both just sitting there. It's not the fastest way to sail. Super exciting stuff here. High pace. Very, very taxing physically. Have to sit there and stare at the other boat. Alright, so they're doing some sailing now. ADF guys in control. You can see the view of from the ADF boat. In the background, the Indian girls trying to get out of their way. These two boats don't need to chuck out the human anchor. They're doing a pretty good job of keeping the boat slow without a swim. Synchronized sailing. Oh.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, we got 1 minute to the start. Got a view from the Indian team's boat there. The Indian team have got themselves in a bit better position there. They're going to try to hold the ADF guys away from the start line. You can see them there yelling at each other. Looking a bit frantic. She's going for a jibe. Coming back at them on starboard. They're going to call them up.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Okay, the ADF guys are jibing around, and that's the start.
Kelly, can you do the countdown to that for me?
Into what?
At the start.
Oh, okay.
Put the timer bar up.
Alright, so those guys have started. There's no penalties in that race, and the girls are ahead slightly. Alright, getting ready for the second race. There's a bit more breeze now, so that's good. There's been no penalties yet today, which is interesting. Alright, you can see there the Megan entering from the port side. That's a 4 minutes, and both boats are in. And the battle begins. Alright, so both going very low. Looks like it's going to be no, the New Zealand team have passed below James. The colours on the screen are wrong, apparently. And we're working on it, Alright, so still got three 3 and a bit minutes to go to the start. James is just going to sail them away.
3 minutes.
Where's the medium boat right now? Looking good. Behind the mast. So go to medium boat.
Alright, we're on board with the media boat now. Following the two competitors as they sail away from the line. Just leisurely cruising out into the distance.
Hear me counting down.
Really? So you can't see it on the screen, but the ADF guys have pushed their skipper overboard by the looks of it. They were sailing well, but then decided they're a little bit hot. So we can see the video on board here. No, we'll switch back to mast view. All right, back to the match. The second start. So we've had everyone's it's very hot up here. Everyone's deciding to go for swims. Arguably at the
I lost 5 different people on my boat last year. 2 of them were dry.
arguably not the best timing to
9,
go for a swim.
7, 6,
So we got 5 seconds to the start,
4, 3, 2,
and they're still battling it out.
1 minute.
Sorry, 1 minute to the start now.
Hear that one?
So we got an all clear, and we got a bit more breeze. Everything moves a bit faster, which is nice. Okay, the New Zealand team are going to try to hold James away from the line. "20 seconds to go. Both boats are trying to wash off a little bit of speed.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Clear start.
Both boats are clear on the start, and they're sailing off. James is slightly above the New Zealand team. Sailing fast. No swims this race.
So, looks like the Indian team is coming down to the bottom mark. Oh, they've just raised the flag up for shortening the course. Shortening? No? Changing the course, sorry. Changing to the green. Green, or the green buoy. Like my associate likes to call it, a buoy. I like to call it a mark. Okay. In the screen, we've got, yeah, looks like they're approaching the lay at the top mark. We've got the media vote screen off to the right. Viewing thing. Like go on play. Okay, so now we're on to the cameras on the boats of the New Zealand and Queensland. Looks like James is getting ready for his hoist. Here we go. Come on, guys. Hoist it, hoist it. Oh, it's perfect. Perfect hoist coming out from the Queensland team. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't such a great hoist coming from Queensland. The New Zealand, the New Zealand team's just hoisted their blue spinnaker. New South Wales rocks, by the way, and Queensland doesn't. Okay, we'll just stay with the New Zealand team at the moment. Looks like they're heating up, trying to pass the Queensland. Come on, New Zealand, please just take out the Queensland guys. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Queensland's just jibed, and so has New Zealand. Who's gonna pop it first? Oh. I think that was equally as good. Spinnaker. Lovely spinnaker work.
For keeping the shot under the boom at the right time and saying nicely arranged on the course.
Yeah. I think they just know the cameras are there and they're just like, ooh, that's.
Probably a good thing. We haven't seen anyone putting off the back, so only falling off the back.
Well, yeah. I mean, these guys haven't fallen off yet. There's still time. Hopefully it's the Queensland again. Oh, here we go. Oh, the Queensland's doing the goose wing again. Seems to be their main tactic, getting down deep, down to the bottom mark. And the New Zealand girls are going to go and heat the spinnaker up and get as much speed as possible going through the jibe. Here we go. Nicely done. Very nice. Okay, now we're with the Queensland team. Why do they have to be so good? It's just so elegant how they've now got the goose wing going the whole way to the bottom mark. Here we go, in for the jibe. Wow, look at that. Okay, they've also raised the flag for the go to the green mark. the course. Okay, James has dropped his spinnaker way too early. And New Zealand, here we go. That's more like it. Get right next to the mark and then drop the spinnaker. That's how it's meant to be done. Even with the squeaky, it's still squeaky's halyard. They've done a absolutely superb job on dropping the spinnaker. Okay, so they're heading back up to the course. So down on bottom right, we have the New Zealand girls. Oh, they're tacking off. Okay. This will be interesting. Let's see what the New Zealanders can pull out of the bag this time. This is the time when Queensland should probably drop a crew member overboard. Okay. Now we got the New Zealand girls. Getting up to the top mark. Looking any ways possible to stuff the Queensland team out. Here we go, roll tack, here we go. Yep, there we go, superb roll tack there from the New Zealand team. Hopefully that helps them. Okay, Queensland's tacked away. Approaching lay of the top mark.
Yellow is Tara.
Oh,
Yellow.
actually, my bad. Green mark, not orange. Apologies. I thought the top mark was the orange, but it wasn't. It was the green. Oh, here we go.
Probably going to go to the media boat very shortly.
Okay, we're just going to probably hop over the media boat just very shortly. And now,
So yeah, we'll go to the media boat.
on the media boat now, at the top mark.
I think they may have cut that a bit fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Wow, probably, I don't know, how much current.
Come back in when we get big tide, mate.
Well, I'm from Pittwater, you know, and Sydney, you know. There's no, and because I foil, you know, I don't need to deal with current.
There was a day I was out fixing a mate of mine's boat down in Sydney, and some guy was obviously learning his moth. And we're out anchored off the double bay. We've got the tools out and the stanchions off, and we're fixing this boat. And this moth's got his one arm round his moth and the other arm round a buoy off Point Paper, and he's just hanging on. And we go, "You right there, mate?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm just having a rest."
Yes, that's the main problem with foiling boats. Like, you can't get a rest. It's a pain, absolute pain. I am Duncan, and I haven't foiled for the last 5 days. I really miss it. Oh, well,
Moths up here, and there's now a wasp as well. I think we've got 2 foilers.
yeah. I heard there was only one up here.
No, one guy didn't go out last year.
Gosh, Paddy, put your phone away. We're racing.
So Gary Mappus, our local rigger, he's got a moth. He was out on it last night. He has a. We've got an English guy called Paul. He's got a moth, and he sails with a cherub with his missus as well. And a guy called Martin has a moth, but he wasn't out on it last year. And someone's got a wasp, but I don't know who. But he's only been out once, I think.
Wasps suck, by the way. Just putting that out there.
You've just been on an Elliot, not a shore. Just saying.
Yeah, but still. They're just a pig of a boat, really. I really dislike wasps.
These are not necessarily the opinions of the Darwin Sailing Club.
I can change. I can change them. Change their opinions. Oh well, I guess we'll go back to the racing. I much prefer to talk about moths, but you know, here for Elliot sailing, you know. The highlights of sailing Elliots. Oh. Damn you, Queensland, with your perfect jibes.
Is yellow.
Come on, New Zealand. We should do a Maori dance. Maybe is it a Maori dance? What is it? Haka. Oh yeah. Should do Peggy, you should do a haka on the front of the bow. Might make them go faster. Okay, so we got pink spinny car Queensland team, and we got blue, which is our New Zealand, lovely New Zealand girls. Okay, so we got the New Zealand girls in the bottom right hand screen. Yeah. I do really think that Queensland should just chuck someone overboard, then they have to do a 360. Make it a little bit more close up. Here we go, Queensland. Off the right hand screen. They're just about to goose wing it and do their tactics, their goose winging times, fun times, yes. Here we go, they're about to cross the line. Oh, there we go. Queensland's won. Bugger. That's a shame. Life sucks. But it doesn't when you own them off. Okay, here we go. Damn you, Queensland. Damn you. Oh, it's in the water. Goody, goody. Okay. One out for the Moth Duncan.
Go to medium boat.
Right, we're live here at the moment on how did you feel about that race? It looked like you might have had him in the pre-start there.
Yeah, it was close. Thank you. A few little things were special to get through, but now we're just enjoying ourselves. We're having 6 minutes, I was going to restart.
Don't know if you saw, but they lost one of their members pre-start overboard. Trying to capitalise on that one. Oh, was it? What's your thoughts on the breeze for this race? Anything in particular you want to go on left or right, or is it just as it comes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like 6 now. Yeah, I think we can make it right.
Yeah, looking like very tricky conditions anyway this regatta. The breeze has been everywhere. Oh well, best of luck in the next race.
Okay, so that was round 1 or 2 of the finals. Can't remember. Round 1 of the finals. Thanks, mate. So for the next one, we're going to get Tom Vincent, the New South Wales skipper, up here to do a bit of talking. Got some infos up. The weather's cleared up a bit. All that rain's gone. There's not a dot on that weather radar anymore. Wind is still from the southeast, blowing out from Mindle Beach, where the fantastic sunset markets will be starting. Probably have started, actually. We're officially dry season, so next Thursday, I imagine, the Mindle Beach markets will be open. I'm going to get set up for the next match, and we'll hand over to Tom Vincent.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 minutes.
So that was the 5-minute gun for match 1 of the petite final, which is India on boat 4 and ADF with Bryson steering on boat 3. So Bryson's blue entry this time, India yellow. Looking at about 35 seconds to their entry roughly. Both boats look like they're about to start turning around and coming back towards the line. Looking down the line at the moment, Bryson looks like he's got a bit of time to kill, so he's just sort of sitting head to breeze, coming back towards the line now. And looking over our shoulder, you guys probably can't see it on the live feed, but boat 4 looks like they are going to be a little late, but coming into the line with a bit of pace now. Bryson coming into the line pretty hot. Both boats maybe a second late, but
or a couple of seconds late for boat 4 entering, but better to be a little bit late than early and get a penalty, so that's what they're after. Both boats have now entered, so looks like boat 4, right-of-way boat, coming up, trying to get a bit of a piece of Bryson here. Okay, Bryson looks like he's tacked. Boat 4 is now keep clear boat. And going to classic dial up. Looks like Bryson's just tacked out here to try and he's getting the bow down, trying to get away from the cover that Tara from Team India is doing to him. Bryson sailing back towards the committee boat, looking like he might go for a bit of a... See what he does here. Team India's just tacked. Both boats sailing off towards the right-hand side of the line. Bryson setting up for a jibe and coming back towards Team India. Trying to get a bit of a port starboard incident happening here. But looks like Team India is probably crossing. Yep, they've got the cross. Been a Yankee flag from Team Bryson, but that's been green flagged by the umpires. Okay, India's doing a bit of a circle now, trying to get back towards the ADF team. And Bryson's got the jibe in, trying to get another bit of a port starboard happening, but not quite getting close enough. Got just under 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. Both boats are probably going to be thinking about their approach back to the line shortly. Team India is putting the jibe in. Probably going for their final approach. This is coming out to the 1 minute gun.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that horn that you just heard was 1 minute to go. Back on board with boat number 3. Looking like he's coming down, trying to get a bit closer to Team India, but they look pretty well ahead, but looking like they're gaining a little bit here. Team India's holding up pretty high here. We've got 15 seconds to go. Bryson's aiming to get a bit of overlap and hold them up.
10, 9, 8, 7,
Pretty close to the line here.
5,
Looking like
4, 3, 2, 1.
okay, so that was a clear start for match 1 of the second flight of the Petite finals, or the final series. Bryson going for another tack. He's looking to try and clear himself away from the cover that India's giving him. Going for a couple of, trying to create a bit of an incident here, but tacked well clear. And no flags to be displayed there. Looking at the mast cam here, we've got boats going upwind, and that voice you can hear is coming up for the 4 minute for the next match, but we're not going to be following that. We're going upwind with the first match.
Let's go Charlie Green.
And looking at the match going upwind at the moment, Bryson's just tacked and looking like he's going for another one. Just crossed underneath India, and India looking a bit ahead, but let's see what happens when they get around the top mark. Looking like we're on board with boat number 3 here. Both boats have just done a bit of attack, and don't know if Bryson went earlier than Team India, but India are just trying to keep themselves between Bryson and the mark at this point. So something that you probably want to be doing in match racing is just trying to cover off the other boat and make sure that you can stay ahead and don't need to create a huge gain, but we want to be keeping ahead, just doing a loose cover.
So yeah, the wind's gone a bit soft on them there. That main sheet has jammed up a bit. It'll come out, but if they get a gust, it's just going to go loose. They're rolling its attack, see if the main sheet pops out as it does that. Nope, still staying there.
So looking like India just crossed over the bow of Bryson, and then tacked on top. Bryson looks like he's tacking out, but I think he's gained a little bit on Team India here. They seem to be a little bit closer than they were a couple of minutes ago. Pretty soft looking up the course at the moment, but looks like there's a bit of a breeze line coming down towards the top mark, which both these boats will be looking to get into as soon as they can and extend or gain, depending on if you're India or Bryson. That was the 1 minute gun for match 2. Looking like they're on their final approach. Looking over our shoulder. Here on the start boat. Looking up the course again, we've got boat 4 just still keeping that cover on boat 3. So Team India just trying to cover Bryson with the ADF team, and he's constantly just tacking out to try and get away from them. Looking at the start for match 2, looks like both yellow boat was over, but that's the girls. James has managed to dip the line early. Still looking back up the course, looks like both boats are getting into that pressure we talked about earlier. Team India looking like they've extended a little bit here away from Bryson. So we're going to get Finn, who's the skipper of the NT youth team, to come up here and have a bit of a chat about what he sees on the course. Being the local, he knows a bit more about what the pressure's going to be doing, rather than me coming up from New South Wales. So Finn, looking at our local weather conditions here, what would you be looking to do?
I'd be looking to obviously stay in the pressure and get out of cover of the other boat. At the moment we've got a nice bit of pressure coming down the right hand side, It's going to get a lot shiftier as you head up the course though, as is the land breeze and you've got the city just there. So you could get screwed over if you're not careful, tack into a few knocks and it could be game over for you. So yeah.
So when you're in the NT with this kind of breeze, is there a favoured side of the course, do you think, or is it just keeping an eye on shifts and where it is going to be?
In this land breeze, it's more just keeping an eye on the shifts. You can do anything. Oscillates quite a bit from left to right, so it will tend to swing more to the left though as the afternoon progresses, and it will die out and go to a sea breeze though. So you can get a few nice left-handers coming down the course.
Okay, so you're probably, if you're on one of these boats at the moment, you're probably looking for those big left-hand shifts.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we have a nice quick change for a sea breeze like we did yesterday. It was only about a 15 or 20 minute change for it to swing round.
Yeah, it was super quick. It was pretty unusual.
Yeah, normally it takes a bit longer than that, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
On board with Elliott 3 at the moment. Looks like they are, from where we're standing on the mark boat, it looks like they're a little bit lower than the other boat in their match. So they'll be hoping to keep that pace on and aim lower and get down to the mark and try and close in on boat 4. Looking at match 2, the finals, there was a bit of an attack happening up at the top mark. Looks like Megan might have gained a bit out of that.
I think she's leading now.
So she's looking like the match 2. So the finals might actually be on lay for their first top mark rounding. Looking at boats coming down, looks like ADF has definitely made a gain out of that first shift, and they're jibing on top of boat number 4, trying to give them a bit of bad air. But boat 4 is has a bit more pace on and looking like they're sailing underneath quite well. Boat 4's done a really nice job there of just getting away from Bryson and keeping their pace on. Probably another couple of jibes to get down to the bottom mark. Don't think these guys are going to soak to get there at the moment. With this light pressure, you can't go too deep on these boats. Back on board with Bryson, boat number 3 with the white spinnaker. He's just done another jibe, trying to get in Tara's air, trying to stuff them up a little bit as much as he can. He's got to do something here, being the boat that's behind. He's just got to try and make a few gains. Looks like he's closed the gap that they had from the start line though, so he's done pretty well here. Just trying to keep the boat fast. Looking like they're going out to a pretty extending probably past the ley line. Both boats jibing here, coming on their final approach to the bottom mark. If Bryson can hold this position and soak down a little bit, he's going to have inside overlap at the mark, so he will have rights, but looking like they're approaching the zone. Bryson is definitely covering Tara here, and he's had the kite filled much earlier out of that jibe, but he's got to soak very low, and looks like Tara's just got the advantage out of that, and there is no overlap coming into the bottom mark. Both boats looking like they're going for a fairly early drop here. If you're Bryson, you probably want to keep that drop a little bit later, and if you're confident you can get it down quickly, you need to get the kite filled and keep it going as quick as you can and try and make a few more gains. But that wasn't his thinking, it seems, and he's gone for the early drop, and now he's coming up around the mark. So Finn here thinks he probably wants to tack straight out of the mark and make sure he's not in the dirty air of Tara. We'll see what he does. He's aiming quite a lot higher, but he's definitely slow here up the course. Pressure's changed. It's a bit steadier than it was. That breeze line that came in a bit earlier looks like it's held in for a little bit longer than some others have. Bryson definitely looking like he's quite a bit higher, but maybe not looking stalled out and not quite as quick. So he needs to probably press on that and build a bit of boat speed up before he can continue. So we got the first match is going upwind at the moment. Boats 3 and 4 looking up the course. Boats 1 and 2 they're in their final race, or final races, battling it out for 1 and 2 for the regatta. Boat 2 is James, just went for a bit of a jibe. No, boat. And boat 1 with Megan's just gone for a jibe as well. Megan looks like she's got a bit better pace than James does here. Coming down, we'll see who gets to the mark first. James is a fair bit closer, but Megan looks faster. So be interesting to see what happens when they get down here. Megan just came in for another jibe, so she's now on starboard with pace. If she can hold this pace before James gets up to speed, she might get an inside overlap, but looks like James has done a nice job of his jibe there and straight into going fast, coming into the bottom mark.
Late drop for Megan to gain as much ground as possible.
What was that, Finn?
Megan wants to do a late drop coming into this mark so she can gain as much ground as possible on James here.
Yeah, so as we talked about with Bryson in the last mark rounding, he probably needed to do a slightly later drop than he did. And again, both boats are going for fairly early drops here, which need to be keeping that pace on, especially when behind. You need to be getting nice and close to the line. This is interesting. We got a blue flag. Looks like James has a penalty to do at some point during the course. He is ahead, so he is going to have to do it. If Megan can sail clean and fast, she might just be able to get him. She's okay. Live coming to the top mark. We got match 1, boats 3 and 4, Bryson and Tara. Looking up the course from the start boat, looks like boat 3 has just done a bit of attack. Obviously, they don't seem to be laying the top mark just yet.
I'll give you my email address as well. Before you go in, I'll get
Okay, looking up the course, we're still on media 1, on the media boat.
Yeah.
Looking at the top mark rounding, looks like boat 4 has just gone around the mark and get a kite set fairly quickly. Boat 3 going around now. They'll be hoping to hoist their kite pretty quickly and try and gain a little bit, if at all possible. Both boats coming down in pretty reasonable pressure. Bryson looking like he's quite a bit higher out of the kite set and mark rounding than Tara. Tara looking pretty square here. So we got Bryson higher, but a fair bit faster to trade off whether you want to go high and fast or try and soak a little bit lower and get a bit further depth. Always got to think about the VMG to the bottom mark. But Bryson looks like he's soaking down a little bit here as well, but keeping the pace on that he had after going high. So still on board with the media boat. Looks like Bryson has gained a bit here out of his top mark rounding manoeuvre there. Tara's still ahead. Tara's got the yellow spinnaker. So though it looks like they're going to just sail out to the lay line for the finish line here and jibe on that and come back in hot. Looking like Bryson is very much soaked down to Megan's line here. He's just going to be trying to do a little bit of, give Megan a little bit of bad, well, Tara a little bit of bad air, not Megan. Megan's in the other match. Trying to give Tara a bit of bad air. And both boats very much going out to lay line here. They're probably going to be jibing shortly so they can get down to the line.
Good roller here.
Okay, looks like Tara's just gone for the jibe. Bryson going as well. Trying to simo the jibe.
Heat up, heat up, heat up, heat up.
Both boats pretty hot coming in to the bottom mark, or to the finish line here. Bryson, the windward boat. Looking at pressure, there looks like to be a couple of little puffs coming down. If you're either one of these boats, you want to be trying to hook into one of those and gain a little bit of pace to get across to the line.
Penalty turn?
Looking up the course, I've just been informed James has wiped his penalty turn on his upwind, so he would have done a jibe instead of attacking his last manoeuvre coming into the top mark.
Tara's coming in hot.
Both boats for match one, boats 3 and 4, coming in pretty hot to get to the bottom, to get to the finish line here. Boat 3 is ahead, but I think Bryson might have gained a little bit out of those jibes and the downwind here. He's got to keep gaining though if he wants to be able to get across the line first.
Oh, Bryson, go for the roll.
Bryson's gone high and fast, looking like yellow just went for a bit of a soak there. So this could be an interesting match coming into the finish line. Both boats aiming to get down to the line early. Bryson going for a big soak here. Probably thinking about a jibe. At the moment, it is Tara coming to the line. Looking like Tara's just got it. Bryson's sailing really well, coming into the line, only a short little time behind. Okay, so that is bronze to India. We're going to go on board with India any second now.
You're live, girl. Congratulations, guys. Well sailed. Wonderful regatta. Good ending result. You happy with how you went?
Yeah, so it's good to see the variety of different countries together in the boats, and everybody has their own strategies and very good hard work, and especially the language coordination and apart from sailing strategies, people coming from a variety of countries and sailing together and making it a win, it's great, I say.
Now, this is the first time you guys have sailed together, isn't it? This regatta, so it's a bit of a learning curve for the first couple of days.
We're still learning every time we go sailing.
They seem to get in sync there. So what's next for you? You got another regatta on the cards?
Yeah, I'm heading to Europe. July.
July, awesome. All right, sounds good. Well done.
She has one,
Congratulations.
and
Thank you. Perfect, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, we're on board with boat number 1 now. So that's Megan's team. James did have a penalty. He's got the pink spinnaker, but he wiped that at the top mark coming in. So both boats coming down on starboard now for the second match. Sorry, what was that, Tom? We're looking across the line on the main camera at the moment. Pink spinnaker, that's James on boat number 2. Blue boat, and he has finished, so he's won his second match of the finals series. So we've got one, if James wins the next match, that is, he will be decided as the winner, but Megan might be able to turn it around from here. There have been bigger comebacks in match racing. And that's Megan coming down for a finish now. So they're going to be going into their starts soon. Having a bit of we'll give them a bit of a break to get some water and some lollies, I'm sure will get thrown around on board. And then they'll be going to another start. So boats 3 and 4, Team ADF with Bryson as the skipper, and boat 4, Team India with Tara as the skipper. They've done racing for the time being. They'll probably hang around and watch for the next race, and that might be the end of the regatta, but it might not be. We'll never know. So looking at the leaderboard now, this next race might be the final race, might be the gold medal race. Megan has to win this to keep going. If James wins, that's him getting the gold medal. So let's best of luck to both competitors, and let's hope this regatta can go for a little bit longer. So ADF have just put their flag up, and we're about to go and jump on board with the media boat, and we'll go and have a bit of a chat with the ADF crew and see how they went with their regatta.
Go and tack back. Alright guys, good racing! Woo. That's good fun. say mutiny? Hey Lily, you're on croc watch. Nicely done. Cheers, smiles all around.
Looking up the course at the moment, India's gone for their flag as well. So got a few different representative flags being flown around the place. Looks like the media boat's going up to Team India, and we'll see if they want to go and have a chat or what their plan is.
Come find me afterwards and I'll send them to you. We'll go find James.
Okay with that?
All right, so we've got the media boat blasting back down the course at the moment. Going to go and have a quick chat with James about what his plan might be for the next race. And we'll be on board with those guys and some audio from them very shortly.
I don't know how good the audio is, but back a bit, otherwise,
Alright, so we're here with James. Tell me, what's going on? I saw you got a penalty in the last race. Is that your first one for the regatta, or?
No, I think we've had two now.
Yeah, we obviously didn't really agree with the umpire's call, but they justified why they made the call, and that's that. So we just had to get far enough ahead to shake it, and we just did it as we were approaching the top mark for the second time, rather than having to do a drop around the pin. We thought that was probably safer doing an upwind spin than having to get rid of the chute and cross the finish line.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone successfully do a downwind spin at the finish line and still hold the lead, so it's probably not a bad call, I reckon.
Yeah, especially in this light wind, it makes it hard. A lot of manoeuvres, so we thought we'd just keep it safe.
What's the now? Tell me, what's the go with the goose wing and the spinnaker downwind? Is that strategic to try and just keep between them and the line, or is it? Do you reckon that's faster?
In this stuff, it's probably what we call a tactical wing. So just trying to put our boat in a better position. It's probably not faster, but say for instance, if we can't get our ley line right coming into the bottom mark, it's quicker just to do a little wing down for maybe 15 seconds rather than doing 2 full drives. So in this stuff, it's definitely not a faster wing. It's more of a tactical wing.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case. What are you thinking about for this next race?
Just keep on ticking the boxes, just lead off the start line, hopefully round ahead, and just keep extending is our plan. And if all doesn't go to plan, just keep it simple. I mean, we know we can do it, so just hoping to finish it off this one.
That's it. No, you've looked good all around us, so nice to see you finish on a high here.
Yeah.
Take a clean sweep. So
that's the plan.
Best of luck to you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
See you later.
So we've just had a postponed on the race start that we thought we were going to have there. The red and white postponed flag is up. The wind is sort of dropping out here. We're getting awfully close to that midday problem that we've had before. So we've got a postponement here. The New Zealand team has to win this to stay in. Queensland have 2 wins, so the gold medal could be decided on this next race. So the race officers want to make sure that we've got steady breeze for it. We're just going to go over and have a word with the ADF team, I think.
Alright, we're here with the ADF team. They've had a good regatta this one. Seem to be learning a lot about match racing. Have you done much before, have you?
It's our first match racing event. We had 2 days of training up in Sydney out of CYC, so pretty fresh.
They've got the Elliott 7s as well there, so you learnt some inside tricks from those guys, did you?
Yeah, definitely. Murray down there was a big help for us, so thanks Murray, you got us 4th place up here, cheers mate.
What boats do you guys normally sail in the lake?
Down in Lake Burley Griffin we got lasers and tasers, and then we try and get around up to Sydney or out to Jarvis Bay as much as we can. A little bit on Gunrunner as well, who's helped us out with the keel boating as well. So.
I reckon the dinghy experience in these Elliots probably pays off for you, because they are just a bit dinghy. How do you like the boats?
Yeah, I love the boats. I think they're really good for match racing. It's really nice that they're one design. You can jump between any of them. They're all the same. Really good platform for what we're trying to achieve with match racing. So,
What's next for you guys? What's on the horizon?
next big event for us is heading over to the US to compete on 44 footers over there against their 4 academies over there. They're military academies, and then hopefully get a few spots on some Hobart boats or something like that. If gun runners willing to take us. Super happy with the crew work that's come out of this week. That's really solid. And all the credit to these boys and girls up the front.
It certainly is a team effort here. I must say I've been on a couple of boats myself, and while the skipper's the one that held the stick, it does come down to the crew working together as a team. So
Definitely.
you've done very well as regatta, so well done.
Yeah, sweet. We're going home smiling, and big thanks to everyone who's put the event on in Arafura Games. It's been sick.
I hope you've enjoyed your time up here, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, for sure. Cheers.
All right, congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so that was the AP has come down. That was the F flag going up for, that's the 7 minute for the next start. So 2 minutes before the sequence, and then next horn we hear will be the 5 minute gun. Both teams prepping for their start, making sure their boat's all ready to go and they're in the right position they want to be in prior to their entry. Looking up the course at the moment, the breeze has backed off a little bit from what it was in the previous race, but still enough to get a race away. Hopefully it doesn't die any more than this, and we can get the racing sorted. Okay, so F flag's just come down. That was the 6 minute until the start.
Hanging on to those guys for the start to the other side, picture in picture.
Yeah, okay, what side the picture's going to be?
You'll be the smaller, I'll be the main, so don't worry about it, you just can hold a snapshot.
Yeah, copy.
You right with that?
In a minute.
I can do it by hand if you want.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So that horn was the 5 minute gun. The boats are sailing away now. They'll be aiming to hit the entry at about 3:59. So we've got sort of 45 seconds to go until these guys enter on their 4 minute gun. Okay, so we've got just over 20 seconds to go. Both boats are approaching. Might need to be washing off a little bit of speed here for both these guys, but they seem to be, it is the final race. In theory, the two best teams in the regatta, so you'd hope that they'd be getting their timing pretty well spot on. You hear the countdown here?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so both boats looking like they were pretty spot on their entry. Coming down to cross the line.
Yellows in, blues in.
Both boats have entered. James on starboard here, he has the advantage. But Megan has made the cross. So James going to be jibing on top of her and trying to chase her out away from the line. If you're the port entry boat, you really want to be trying to get that cross and take away the advantage that the starboard entry boat has as soon as you possibly can.
James was about a boat length late.
Yeah. So looking like there's a bit of overlap here. James' windward keep clear boat at the moment by the look of where we're looking from the start. So we've got 3 minutes to go. No penalties on anyone yet. There hasn't even been a flag, which is rare to see in the final races. Okay, looking down at the boats now. Both boats have just, one boat's tacked and one boat's jibed. Probably going to think about coming back towards the line here soon. Can always wash off a bit of pace, but we don't want to be getting too far away. James bearing away to try and do a bit of attack on Megan here. Looking at probably about 40 seconds to a minute away from the line here. Approaching, so they've got a fair bit of time to kill. We've got a minute and a half to go. Megan's just borne away and looking like she might come upwind and hard on the breeze here to get back to the line, but still got plenty of time. James coming down now, trying to get closer to Megan and do a cover on her or get a penalty.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so that was the 1 minute for the start. Both boats still approaching. Both boats looking like they've got a bit of time to kill here. James coming down towards Megan again, but Megan looking like she's just trying to sail well and fast, and hopefully she can have a clean race and get around the course in front. Got just over 30 seconds to go. Boats definitely going to have to be washing off time here. James looking like he's trying to get Megan over the line here, but well clear, no overlap at the moment. Oh, just getting overlap advantage here. Remembering, okay, looks like James might end up being the windward boat here.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Clear start.
Okay, Megan being the lured boat here. James might be able to stay, but he might have to tack out. You get a bit of funky breeze coming off the lured boat sail when you're this close. But there was a clear start there, and both boats are now away and racing. Okay, looking like James is a bit higher and similar sort of pace to Megan. Going up the course. Megan now looking like she's probably sitting in a bit of bad air from James. Megan might want to be tacking here soon. If that happens, James will probably just tack over on top of her, trying to do a cover all the way up the course. Okay, looking like James is a bit higher looking up the course here. But Breeze is definitely backing off here, so both boats are going to have to concentrate on keeping in pressure and sailing fast. James wants to make sure that he's just keeping in between Megan and the mark and keeping the lead that he's got. Not that there's a lot there, so he's going to be trying to extend what he's got. Looking on board with Elliot number 2 at the moment, that's James. Looking like that Elliot 1 is gradually gaining a little bit of height here, so Megan might be able to get a piece of James and force him to tack out, which has just happened. James has just tacked out, Megan had gained a fair bit, and James is starting to get into that bad pressure we talked about at the very start. So Megan's just tacked as well. Possibly even laying the mark, but with the current and pressure that we've got, they're probably going to have to do another couple of tacks to get there. On board with the media boat at the moment, looking at both boats coming up the course. Megan's just tacking out. She was getting some bad air from James, and James is tacking to try and hold her out and hold the lead that he's got. She has gained a little bit. This tack might change that. Okay, so I've just jumped on board Elliot number 2 for a while. They've just tacked out again. James is probably looking at the ley line for the top mark here, and jumping back on board media, and maybe looking like they're laying the mark. Hard to tell down here on the start boat. Looking like the boat on the right-hand side of the course is probably laying the mark, and that looks to be Megan, and James off to the left doesn't look like he's going to be laying the mark. So hopefully Megan can get ahead here for the sake of the Kiwis. We've got the cross-channel, across the ditch rivalry happening in the finals for the Arafura games here. Okay, looks like James is pinching up to get to the mark. Ooh, a bit of a luff here. Probably a bit of a protest going to happen. We'll see what the umpire says about that move. Both boats have gone around the top mark. Kite's going up. There was a whistle there. Don't know what the flag was. So both boats around the mark, around the course, around the mark, and we'll see if we can get the umpire boat in shot and what the flag was, if there was one. Okay, on board boat number 1 now with Megan from New Zealand. Looking like they're setting up for a bit of a jibe here. James is jibing in front of them as well.
Okay, I've got that picture of both of them shot off, but the one cam. Tell them media boat. I'm going back to media boat. I think it's looking pretty good.
Okay, so we're back on the media boat and looking at both boats coming downwind. James looks to be a little bit lower, but I think Megan seems to be a little bit faster. So, there was a protest at the top mark and a whistle, but there don't seem to be any penalties, so must have been green flagged. Megan looks like she's in a little bit better pressure and probably a little bit lower, and similar sort of speed to James. Looking up the course at the moment, both boats coming down. Megan, the windward boat, probably going to have to Simo jibe to get down to the mark, and Megan's just going to be looking to cover James's pressure so she can gain on him as much as possible. Looking to be a fairly close race in this potential medal race. If James wins this, he wins the regatta. James looking like he's trying to hold Megan out and pushing her past the ley line, which is more than acceptable in match racing. Looking like Megan's trying to soak and maybe even setting up for a jibe, but hard to tell from the start boat. Okay, looks like James is jibing. Both boats jibing to get into the bottom mark. They're going to be coming in. They've probably gone a bit past the ley line, so they're going to be coming in pretty hot to get in to the mark here. Megan will be trying to make as much of a gain as she possibly can, and hopefully she can get down to, for her sake, she can get down to on the leeward side and get a inside overlap coming into the mark, in which case James will have to give her room. Okay, both boats coming in, looking like, from the start boat here, looking like James is setting up for his drop and he's gone jib up. They're probably going to go for what we like to call a Mexican or a Kiwi drop on the bottom mark. So early drop for James here. Leeward drop, and he's going to be jibing coming into the mark. Megan's still got her kite up, coming down pretty hot. Looking like James is probably gone a bit further than he needed to get around the mark. Megan going for her drop now. And we've had a change of course, so instead of going to orange, we're going to be going to green on this upwind. This is still nice and close match, so Megan's going to be trying to, probably wants to tack out of the pressure that, or the air that bad air James is giving her at the moment. Looking from here like they've got a bit of a problem with their main sheet. Megan reaching back and trying to sort that one out. Okay, both boats tacking. Megan trying to tack out and James just doing a cover on top. Okay, Megan going for another tack. James is probably going to slam on top of her again, but he might extend this time No, looking like he's going to go for an extension, but doing a bit more of a loose cover than in the past. Looking at the course, breeze is probably backed off a little bit from what we had. Sort of pressures coming up and down, as Finn said earlier, coming off the land. Can be a bit interesting in Darwin here. Both boats still trying to attack and cover or get away from the other boat and get some clean air and sail fast for Megan. James probably want to be doing a bit of another cover, but choosing to extend instead. He's obviously seen something that Megan hasn't. Looking up at the top of the course at the moment, there's a bit more of a pressure line coming down, but not to where these guys are currently sailing. It's going to be coming more down the right-hand side of the course. Both boats looking pretty slow here. Megan's just tacked over again to get over towards the mark. Both boats still looking pretty slow here. They're, James seems to have gained a little bit, but Megan does look a bit higher further up the course than James is. Okay, both boats looking like they're entering the pressure we just talked about. It's slowly coming down the course. James just holding his position between Megan and the mark here. Probably going to be getting up towards their ley line soon. James tacking out, probably on his ley line. But big knock there with Megan. She's going to be tacking soon as well. There she goes. Okay, looking like James has made a couple of gains there out of those tacks, and he got into the pressure a bit earlier, so he's going to be going quite well here. So looking like James is ahead here, still coming into the mark. Megan's got to do something here if she wants to win. Hopefully, for her, she can get down the course ahead of James. James is going for his mark rounding. Kite's going up. Pretty clean set there. So James has just jibed it, coming into probably a little bit higher than the ley line, so he might have to jibe again, but coming down the course. Megan still going out probably setting up for a jibe here soon. Getting into pressure, and she'll be going to be coming in nice and hot. James has just jibed back. Again, holding himself between Megan and the mark. Okay, Megan has just jibed. She's got the blue spinnaker coming down. She's going to be hoping that she's gone in the right spot to be able to lay the pin end of the line. Looking like she's a little bit high at the moment. James jibing in front of her, probably hoping that if she gets ahead, he can hold her up. James might be a little bit slower here, but definitely definitely something lower than Megan is. Wind's just backing off a little bit here again. Hopefully we have enough pressure to get them down. Doesn't seem to be dying too much. Still got pressure across the whole course. Looking up the course at the other boats, a few of the guys going for a bit of a swim while the racing's going on, and still watching. Looking back at boats 1 and 2, Megan's just done another jibe, going to extend down to leeward to get further down the course before she jibes back to get on the ley line. Hodge is jibing, James is jibing again keeping himself between Megan and the next mark, making sure that he's still in the leading position. With match racing, you don't need to. There's no time limit. You can control the course, and as long as you beat the other boat across the line, it doesn't matter. Okay, Megan sailing pretty hot. James just, again, jibing in front of her, keeping himself in that leading position, not losing that. Okay, nice close match for the final one, but at this point, looks like James is coming in for the win.
Probably.
But anything can happen. Just have to wait and see what happens on the line. Looking at the umpire boats, there's no penalties outstanding, so been a pretty nice match for these guys. James looking like he's probably going to have to do another jibe to get across the line here, but well ahead at this point in time, coming into the finish. Gubby. So looking across the line at the moment, James is just coming in for his final approach, just jibed. Looking like he's coming in for his third win of the finals series here at the Arafura Games. And that is James across the line, winning the regatta. That's the gold medal goes to Queensland team, led by James Hodgson and his crew. We're going to jump on board with the media boat here in a second and see if we can get a bit of an interview happening.
Congratulations, winner of 2019 Arafura Games. How's it feel?
Yeah, good. Glad we got it done. It's pretty hot out here. We're battling a bit with the heat, but staying hydrated and doing
all the basic stuff right. I think that's what got us there in the end.
Yeah, no, you certainly had a good regatta right from the get-go. You were looking strong, you knew the boat, so
yeah,
very, very well done. What's next?
Honestly, couldn't tell you. Just back to Sydney tonight, and then we start our youth sailing academy out of the Cruising Yacht Club tomorrow morning. So it's going to be good to get back into it, racing with the whole squad, and getting ready for the upcoming regattas this winter.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. You're going to come back to run the sailing in the Arafura Games again in a couple of years' time?
I don't see why not.
Come back and contest. Enjoyed your time up here, have you?
Yeah, it's been great. A lot of free time. Watched a lot of other sports, as well as British champagne sailing, apart from the heat and light winds.
You've done very well, I must say, to have gone undefeated, so congratulations. Well done to you and your team.
Thank you. Big congrats to my team, and big thank you to Malul Bar Yacht Club back home. Cheers.
Okay, so Megan's just sailed across the back of the boat, or her boat sailed across the back of the start boat with no crew on it. They all decided to attack each other and leave no one on board while the boat was still sailing. It's always a bit of fun, but our boatswain Clancy was right on the game and he's jumped on board, managed to get control of the boat. Megan's team's jumping back on. And looking like all boats are sailing back towards the mooring. We'll finished racing nice and early for the day.
Just coming up to Megan and the team here. Looks like you've just pulled off in the territory water. Congratulations, ladies, on the one for regatta. You certainly didn't let them take it away from you there. You threw everything you had at them.
It was good fun. Well done to them and their team. They sailed really well. It was a fun few races.
Have you enjoyed the regatta up here in the territories?
We loved it, yeah.
You going to come back again if they run it again, you reckon?
Yeah,
Had that much fun?
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Nice to hear. What's next for you?
I think we'll go home to the freezing cold Auckland and hopefully maybe get into the training and not sure, we'll see.
Yeah, no, looking good. You've done remarkably well. You almost got him in those last couple of races. So, well done.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, we've got a little budding superstar. He has been shot on early. Do you mind sailing that?
Totally, yeah.
Probably go to all four boats, see what's good.
Okay, so we're back on board with all four of the Elliots at the moment. That sums up the 2019 Arafura Games. All boats looking like they're going to start sailing back. ADF guys look like they're still swimming. Team India and Tara and James look like they're probably the closest to the moorings. There's always two races when you're at a sailing event. There's the race on the race course and there's the race back to the bar. So these guys are going to be aiming to get back in and probably have a celebratory beer or so, or two or three. So we've got the principal race officer here of the Darwin, Arafura Games. Are you pretty happy with how the regatta went?
Look, we had a fairly interesting day, first day, when a couple of hurdles to jump over to actually pull the regatta back on course, but we've managed to be able to do that. We've had some really good sailing, some great close match racing from some very good match races, and very happy with the way it's all gone out.
Excellent. So what was one of the main hurdles on the first day?
We as the boats were leaving moorings, we somehow managed to snap a rudder, so that put us back from having been able to run concurrent matches in each flight to being single match flights for the whole of the first day. But thanks to the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia in Sydney, who lent us a rudder for an Elliott 7, which is one of the benefits of having one design boats, which they then flew up as excess baggage with one of their club members to Darwin overnight. We fitted that to the rudder, to the boat, and had that boat operating again and relaunched, ready for competition on the second day. And we're very, very grateful to the CYC and Jordan Rees at CYC and Tom Grimes, who was the self-described mule.
Yeah, I think they've done a fantastic job, and it's, as you say, it's great having one design boats, and a lot of the clubs around the country using, or a number of the clubs around the country using these boats. And we're great that we've got the support from the other clubs. They really could have stuffed the regatta over, but they were really helpful and got it all going back on track.
I think that, yes, so you're right there, Tom. What it's shown is that there's a really good camaraderie between the various clubs that are involved in match racing around Australia. And we've had great support from all those clubs over the last couple of years since Darwin Sailing Club has been conducting one design match racing. What happened on Tuesday and Tuesday evening, it just illustrates that in spades.
Yeah, it certainly does. Well, thank you, Ed, for running the regatta, and thanks to the whole race committee team for all their hard work.
Yeah, I think that'll be it for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. These videos will remain online. We will be back for the youth match racing regatta later in the year. We'll do some other live streams as well. I haven't decided what. Expect to see the start of the Darwin Sumalaki race. And a big thank you to the NT government, whose grant bought us all this wireless kit and the security cameras. Particular couple of shout outs to my colleague Matt here from Majestics Media, who's taken time out from running his business to volunteer and help with all of their digital live streams. Another particular thank you to Clancy Grant, who's our on-water bosun, who built our gimbaled mast camera that we've been using here today. He's taken time out from his job at Security Technology Services to help out with this regatta, and probably a thank you to my employers who've kindly released me from so I probably ought to mention the Northern Territory Department of Primary Industry and Resources, who are short a server guy this week. It's been great fun. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you next time. So I'll put the results up there. We will be live later for the medal ceremony. I've just been reminded by someone who is front of house rather than me, who's normally back of house. And yeah, we will see you this evening. We will live stream the medal ceremony. I'll set up some links on YouTube and Facebook as soon as we get ashore. And as soon as you hear the engine start, it means that that's it for this. So we'll see you all later.